Are you sometimes wondering when to use good and when to use well? Are you unsure whether you should say real nice or really nice? Then join me in this lesson for a review of English adverbs and adjectives. This lesson is sponsored by Lingoda Online Language School, which is a provider of live English lessons with qualified native teachers. More information about Lingoda at the end of the video. Hello and welcome everyone. This is Minu at AngloLink. In this lesson, we're going to review adjectives and adverbs and look at some common mistakes that you might be making with them. We'll end the lesson with an exercise so you can check your understanding. By the end of the lesson, you will have a clear idea of how to use adjectives and adverbs and how to avoid some common mistakes. So, when you're ready, let's begin. Common mistakes with English adjectives and adverbs. Before we start looking at the common mistakes, let's have a quick review of what adjectives and adverbs are and how we formulate them. Let's start with adjectives. What's an adjective? An adjective describes a noun or a pronoun, someone or something. And an adjective usually comes before the noun. For example, we made slow progress. Or, he's an amazing cook. But an adjective can also come after verbs that describe someone or something. For example, be, get, become, etc. These verbs are called linking verbs. Also, after a sense verb like smell, taste, feel, look, seem, etc. For example, our progress was slow. Our progress seemed slow. Our progress felt slow. Or with sense verbs, for example, his food tastes amazing. His food smells amazing. It looks amazing. There's also another type of adjective called participle or participial adjective. These adjectives are formed out of the present or past participles of verbs. For example, if the verb is to amaze, you can have the present participle, amazing, and the past participle, amazed. These are adjectives. Or to interest is the verb, and interesting and interested are adjectives. Usually, ing adjectives describe the person or object. For example, he is an interesting person. His stories are interesting. Ed adjectives describe feelings and attitudes of people. For example, we're interested in him and his stories. Right, let's look at adverbs. What's an adverb? An adverb describes a verb, an action verb, or an adjective, or another adverb, or even a whole sentence. For example, we progressed slowly. Slowly describes progressed. He is an incredibly amazing cook. Here, incredibly is an adverb that tells us more about amazing, the adjective. He cooks really amazingly. Here, really is an adverb telling us more about another adverb, amazingly. And finally, interestingly, he comes from England. Interestingly relates to the whole sentence, he comes from England. Right, let's have a quick look at formulation. As you can see, to change an adjective into an adverb, we usually add ly to it. For example, slow becomes slowly. Interesting becomes interestingly. If the adjective ends in y, change it to I before adding the ly. For example, happy, happily, or lucky, luckily. Now, there are a few exceptions that you have to be aware of. Let's have a look. One exception is that there are a few common adverbs that are not formulated with ly. The most common one is good. The adverb for good is well. And then the rest of the adverbs that you're going to see don't change from their adjective form. For example, fast stays fast. Hard, hard. Early, early. Late, late. Far, far. Long doesn't change, long. Short stays short. Straight, straight. And finally, fine, fine. A little note about good and well. As we've just seen, well is the adverb of good. But well also means healthy. So when asked, how are you? If you want to say you are in good health, you can say, I'm well. If you want to say you're doing generally okay, say, I'm fine. In the past, it was considered a mistake to say I'm good. However, these days this expression is becoming more and more common as an alternative to I'm fine. So, how are you? I'm well. I'm healthy. How are you? I'm fine. I'm doing good. I'm good. Another exception is that there are a few words ending in ly that are not adverbs but adjectives. Some examples are lovely, friendly, lonely, orderly, silly, lively, deadly, timely. You cannot change these adjectives into adverbs. You can use the words way, manner, or fashion to describe an action with these adjectives. For example, she was lovely. She welcomed us in a lovely way, in a lovely manner, in a lovely fashion. Another exception, the following ending in ly are both adjective and adverb. Weekly, monthly, daily, and yearly. For example, you can say it's a weekly magazine or I receive it weekly. And finally, we have another exception. In formal spoken English, you may hear the following adjectives instead of the adverbs. That was really nice. Nice is an adjective, so the word should be really. However, you will frequently hear, that was real nice. Or, instead of come quickly, you may hear, come quick. The computer is running slowly today. The computer is running slow today. He doesn't speak loudly enough. In informal English, you will hear, most probably, he doesn't speak loud enough. Right then, it's time to look at some common mistakes. The first one is to use an adverb after linking or sense verbs. For example, the situation seemed unusually. As you now know, the situation seemed unusual is the correct sentence. Or, your garden looks beautifully. Your garden looks beautiful. Because although the adjectives unusual and beautiful are not next to the noun, they describe the nouns situation and garden, not the verbs seemed and looks. Another common mistake is using the ing form to describe someone's attitude or feelings. You may hear, Jane is boring by his stories. As you now know, it should be Jane is bored by his stories, because his stories are boring. Or another example, they were surprising by the news. No, they were surprised by the news, because the news was surprising. Another common mistake is using an adjective to describe a verb, another adjective, or an adverb. For example, you may hear he sings good. Sing is an action verb, and therefore you need the adverb. And the adverb for good is well. He sings well. Another example of a mistake, he is a wonderful good singer. Wonderful is about good, therefore it should be another adverb. He is a wonderfully good singer. Another example, you may hear he sings incredible well. Incredible tells us more about well, therefore it should be an adverb. He sings incredibly well. And finally, as you will remember, the words hard, late, and short are both adjectives and adverbs. However, the words hardly, lately, and shortly also exist, but with completely different meanings. Let's have a look at their meaning. Hardly means almost not. For example, if you say, I hardly know him, it means I don't really know him. If you want to use hard as an adverb, just use the same word, hard. He's a hard worker, adjective before worker, and he works hard, hard describing the verb work. Let's look at lately. Lately means recently. So if you hear, I haven't seen her lately, it means I haven't seen her recently. If you want to use late as an adverb, keep it to the word late. For example, the bus was late and I arrived home late. And finally, let's look at shortly. Shortly means soon. If you say, I'll call you back shortly, you mean, I'll call you back soon. If you want to use short as an adverb, keep it to the word short. For example, it was a short speech, adjective. He cut his speech short, adverb. Right, it's time for some exercises. Choose the correct form to complete each sentence. Number 1. Yesterday I finished work very. You're looking for the adverb to describe finish. The adverb for late is late. So yesterday I finished work very late. Number 2. This bread smells. We're looking for an adjective to describe the smell of the bread. Therefore, the correct answer is good. The bread smells good. Smell is a sense verb. It's followed by an adjective. Number 3. This is true. We're looking to give more information about the adjective true. Therefore, we should have an adverb before it. This is absolutely true. Number 4. Can you see anything? No, I can see anything. We're giving a negative answer. Therefore, we need the negative word hardly. No, I can hardly see anything. Number 5. I was by the image. We're describing the feelings of the person, therefore the correct adjective is fascinated. I was fascinated by the image. Number 6. This is a report. We're looking for an adjective for report, and monthly is the adjective. Number 7. Yesterday's meeting was. We're describing the meeting, not the people's feeling, so the correct adjective is tiring. Yesterday's meeting was tiring. Number 8. She spoke to the child. We're looking to describe the verb speak. Therefore, we need an adverb. Lovely is an adjective. Therefore, the correct answer is lovingly. She spoke to the child lovingly. Number 9. I have worked on this project. We want to describe the verb, the action verb work, and therefore we need the adverb hard. I have worked hard on this project. And finally, number 10. They welcomed us in a fashion. We're looking for an adjective to describe fashion, and friendly is that adjective. They welcomed us in a friendly fashion. Many of you have asked me how you can improve your English speaking and listening skills. In my experience, the most efficient way to do this is by taking private lessons with a native speaker. I recently took a Spanish lesson with Lingoda, and I really enjoyed it. I like their system for several reasons. First of all, they offer both private and small group lessons that are available 24/7 via Skype. And you can pick the time and type of lesson that would suit you best. Secondly, all the teachers are fully qualified native speakers. And finally, they offer certification based on CEFR levels from A1 to C2, which allows you to set targets and measure your progress as you work towards them. I do believe that Lingoda can help many of you take your English to the next level. For more information and to book a trial lesson, you can visit lingoda.com. And then you can use the following code to get a 15% discount. Well, that's all for this lesson. I hope I have clarified some of your doubts about adverbs and adjectives in English. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you in my next lesson. Bye now.